Hello art friends, I'm Robin. In the last two lessons we learned how to draw different dog or cat faces and creating our own unique animal. Now today we're going to use the different animal body parts we cut out before to give us some animation and some movement. We'll begin in pencil and then add colour and add details in marker. So let's get started. Now let's see what we're going to need. I've got my watercolour pans, my watercolour brush, water. I've got grey leads, a fine liner and a thicker marker, an eraser. I've also got from last lesson all my pieces from the dog that we painted and drew last session. I've got some A3 paper. I've also got my chart from when we did all the faces because I might want to refer to those later on. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got. So I've cut all my pieces out. We've got the dog face, some different bodies. We've got some arms, or some legs really, and a tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just arrange the dog into different positions and then draw those. So let's have a look. First of all, here's a body. Let's try him. Here's his little head and maybe tail. And let's see, we could do, oh, here's our dog jumping. It can look like he's jumping over something. The collar that we made, we might like to put his collar on. Okay, oh, probably doesn't suit that one, so let's just put his head there. So we could do, here's our jumping. We're going to move around maybe straight up and down. Some little legs, arms, maybe his collar. Bit of attitude, bring his head to the side maybe. I'm just going to move my pieces around and get lots of different ways that my dog might like to be sitting. Here's the bit that we put with the tail, so I might just put that on the side there. It looks a little bit too small, maybe go this way. Maybe some little arms going this way. Happy with that? The triangle-y body. And maybe some, little legs. Maybe his head right over, so we've got. Okay, so just have a little move around with your pieces until you get some little character shots that you really, really like. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to draw them in grey lead on my paper. I want to layer lots and lots of different ones in front of each other, and then I'll just rub out the lines that I don't need. So let's start off with one of them. Let's go back to the first one. I think was really cute. So let's go back to, here he is with the tail and running. So what I'm going to do with my grey lead, I'm going to just draw that here. Here's his little face. And his ears. And his body. Now, we did our different charts of faces and eyes, and you might want to refer back to that or just keep the same character. So we might I like the wriggly ones, so I might have that one. Okay, right, so there's one. Let's try a different one. Let's have him. And I'm going to put the little collar on this time. There, and maybe his long legs and his short arms. Okay, so I might just put this one over here. Okay. Righto, the triangle one. Let's have a look. Head to the side maybe. And 2 hands going this way. And these little legs. So let's put that one in the middle. Okay. You can see that I've got lots of spaces where the lines are crossing over, and that's fine because we're going to use our eraser and later on just cut it and erase the lines we don't need. Join with me as I'm continuing to build a crowd of dogs using my dog pieces. So what I'm going to get you to do now is just to have a look at it carefully, and there'll be lines that you don't want to do. So let's have a look. This line here, I don't know why I did that one. Just erase that one. Sometimes when they cross over, these sorts of lines, just erase them with your eraser. Okay, this line here I don't want. This line around his little face. We're now up to painting them. So I'm going to choose the browns, yellows, oranges, those sorts of colours here. And using my watercolour brush, of course, using the side of my brush, get some real, the colours need to be very, very wet. So when you put it down, the water is really quite, the paint is very, very wet. Choose 2 colours for every dog. This one's going to be tan and orange. Now, maybe a brown dog over here. This one can be brown. Now, you can't see his face very well, but that's okay, because when we go to put our marker over the top when it's dry, you'll be able to pick out all the features. Okay, what about a yellow dog? Just a little hint when you're working with watercolour, don't do the 2 that are close together because the colours are going to blend. So just choose 2 that are a long way away. I'm going to continue to paint all of my dogs, and then when we're finished, when it's dry, we'll get the fine liner and the marker onto it. Now that I've finished painting my dogs and that the paper's dry, I'm going to use my markers, my thick one and my thin one, and maybe I've got a white marker here as well. I'm just going to fill in all the details. Okay. Join with me and do your lines and just enjoy that process of just almost like doodling on your dogs. I think I've finished. I've put lots of dots and stripes with my marker and with my watercolour pen and my watercolour brush. I just like just sitting there, relaxing and just drawing and doodling and adding things. Now your picture can be very small, or you might want to keep adding to it and adding to it. Maybe give your dogs a garden to live in, or kennels, or things like that. Look forward to seeing you in our next video. Goodbye.